for more supports in this cold. Is the province failing people living on the streets? A helping hand for the homeless. What kind of an impact is one downtown support making? And more scrutiny over hospital security. What a First Nations health ombudsperson says needs to happen.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the extreme cold that has gripped our province. It's prompting a call to action by those working on the front lines with Saskatoon's most vulnerable. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
As temperatures across Saskatchewan have reached dangerous lows in recent weeks, those who help Saskatoon's unhoused population are asking for more support.
We saw one individual whose fingers were falling off. Absolutely. It's just horrifying. It's just horrifying. If I just took pictures of the hands of people alone who are living on the street, and you could see the number of missing digits and missing fingers, it would break your heart. It's just unacceptable.
CARD says the current supports available for Saskatoon's unhoused population aren't enough, adding that shelters are a temporary solution and the greater issue of housing in Saskatchewan needs more attention.
We're not making progress. We need to restore the things that April mentioned, like direct payment to landlords, and we need to have a compassionate and dignified treatment of our people on the streets.
According to the province, the Ministry of Social Services does have representatives working in shelters with the goal of connecting those in need with more long-term housing options.
What we find, though, is there's individuals, they require additional supports and may not be entirely ready for housing at that point. But that's something that we're constantly trying to do is where an individual we think will be successful with housing, we will definitely work with them to secure them housing.
Saskatoon's latest point-in-time count listed nearly 2,000 people experiencing homelessness, and a comprehensive evaluation from 2024 determined that more than 80% of those without shelter are Indigenous.
The poverty is overwhelmingly female and overwhelmingly Indigenous, and we can do much better if we put our minds to it and work together.
Saskatoon currently has 3 warming shelter locations which operate overnight, in addition to 9 facilities that are available during the day.
If we have shelters that are completely full, that individual is not going to be turned back out onto the street. We will find an appropriate place for them so they're kept safe especially when it's super cold like it has been.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
One of the groups working to help Saskatoon's homeless is the Mustard Seed. It's been just over a year since it took over the lighthouse. Carla Schenkirk reports on the services and their impact that they're having in the area.
Here at the Black Rose Whiskey Club on 2nd Avenue, they've seen their fair share of ups and downs with the lighthouse building across the street. But since the Mustard Seed took over in December of 2024, things have been different.
Almost no traffic on the street, like no walking traffic around the building like there was before. No people are hanging out there anymore.
And that has been good for business.
The perception that downtown is a scary place is slowly changing. As it's not that scary. It's not that much trouble where there once was.
And that reason for fewer people hanging around.
So not just ask them to leave, but give them an opportunity on, what do I need and what is available in the city and where can I find it, instead of just hanging around downtown.
This particular location is all assisted living, serving meals and connecting with people, offering supports. Mustard Seed's goal is not just emergency relief, but long-term change, and it's making that happen with the surrounding area as well.
We've got some relationships with businesses that started out rocky that have now done a complete 180.
Saskatoon's downtown business improvement district is also seeing change happening here.
We've seen a lot of stability. We've seen some great coordination, accountability, collaboration with us at downtown Saskatoon, as well as with our business community.
Additionally, the Mustard Seed operates a 40-bed temporary shelter on Pacific Avenue, and the bid is seeing positive results there also.
With their leadership and where it's going, that it's done great things for us.
The organization is preparing for new challenges once the weather warms up and more people are outside.
We'll have to address that as well when it comes and make sure that we're resourcing those people to know where to go.
As it marks its first year in Saskatoon, both supporters and skeptics agree the conversation around homelessness downtown is far from over, but some say it's one that's now happening with more understanding. Carla Schenkirk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Jeff, it has been bitterly cold, but there is a warm-up.
There is a warm-up coming. It is slowly happening. It's already starting to take shape, certainly in Alberta and parts of the eastern side of, or the western side of this province. But the eastern side of the province still quite cold. In fact, there are extreme cold warnings in effect for many parts of eastern Saskatchewan. So we'll tell you about the extreme cold that's still lingering, but it's on its way out slowly.
First Nations leaders are calling for sweeping changes after what they call a worsening trend of how Indigenous people are treated in Saskatchewan hospitals. Keenan Sorokong reports.
The First Nations health ombudsperson says protective services in Saskatchewan are causing harm to First Nations people seeking care.
There's got to be change. We're not going to accept anything less.
Diane LaFond alleges protective services are leaving people in pain, beaten, and even dead in the case of Trevor Dubois, who died earlier this month after an altercation with security at Royal University Hospital. She says there have been complaints about protective services, and Dubois had a complaint which is being investigated about his care dating back to September.
His first complaint, he wants change from how he was treated. It should never have happened. And look, Trevor's not with us anymore.
LaFond is demanding an open and independent inquiry not involving the Ministry of Health. She wants her office to be part of it. Last week, the province announced plans for a third-party independent review into safety and security, including a review of security staff and their training. But LaFond wants the province to go further, calling for body cameras, for security footage to be stored longer than 30 days, and review how complaints are handled.
You can't police yourself. You cannot do that. There's got to be an external body. That's why our office was created.
The SHA says it will remain engaged with LaFond's office as it works to build a safer, more culturally responsive health system.
It's not meant to tear down or to destroy the current system. It's meant to improve it.
Pratt says if the province doesn't respond favorably to its demands, the FSIN is ready to launch a class action lawsuit to effect necessary change. Keenan Sorokong, CTV News, Saskatoon.
As Canada struggles with a doctor shortage, a little-known problem is plaguing family physicians in our province. As Jacob Carr tells us, they're losing millions of hours each year they could be spending with patients to deal with paperwork.
20 million hours. That's how much the Canadian Federation of Independent Business says Canadian doctors lose each year to red tape. And their latest report, in collaboration with the Canadian Medical Association, found that physicians in Alberta, Ontario, and Saskatchewan reported the highest number of hours spent on administrative work per week.
They spend on average around 10 hours per week or more just filling out paperwork. So that takes time away from their ability to serve patients, and it leads to burnout.
The CFIB says that in a recently conducted survey, many Canadian physicians are thinking about cutting back their hours or leaving the medical profession entirely because of the burnout. So what are some solutions to this never-ending red tape?
We can use AI scribes, for example, to help decrease the burden of documenting clinical encounters within our clinic rooms across the country.
According to the report, other top recommendations include simplifying insurer processes, providing protected paid administrative leave, and delegating duties to other health professionals.
Our recommendation would be to set at a minimum a 10% reduction target, which we believe is more than feasible. What it comes down to is reviewing what's necessary, what's outdated, and if it doesn't require a medical degree to fill out that form, then it should be completed by somebody other than a doctor.
More than 3/4 of Canadian physicians that were surveyed by the CFIB said they would improve their work-life balance if these burdens were reduced, and nearly half said it would free up more time to spend with existing patients and also to take on new ones. The report also found eliminating unnecessary administrative tasks would potentially add the equivalent of 260 full-time physicians in Saskatchewan. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon police say the death of a woman found outside in the airport district Friday morning is not suspicious. Police were called to the 2100 block of Airport Drive at about 7 o'clock Friday morning, where witnesses found the body of a woman outside a business. There is no word on whether the extreme cold played a factor in her death. Saskatchewan's coroner service is investigating. Jury selection in a Saskatoon murder trial got underway today. 23-year-old Caitlin Desjardins-Kelly is on trial charged with second-degree murder in the death of 48-year-old Arden Panapipikasik. On February 10th, 2024, just before 7 a.m., police responded to a home in the 200 block of Avenue K North where they found 48-year-old Panapikasik suffering from a gunshot wound. He died from his injury. Police have previously said that Panapikasik and Desjardins-Kelly knew each other. 3 weeks have been set aside at Court of King's Bench for the trial. A Saskatoon man has been found guilty of manslaughter after a fatal fight with his friend. Timothy Smith has been found guilty in the death of 37-year-old Landon Waddell. Court heard Smith, Waddell, and a mutual friend were drinking at a home in the 400 block of 26th Street West in November of 2024. Court heard a fight broke out and that Waddell grabbed Smith's shirt. Smith then punched Waddell twice and kicked him as he fell, and then Waddell hit his head on a coffee table. Court heard Waddell died of a concussion caused by blunt force trauma to the head and extreme alcohol intoxication. The judge handed down the verdict this afternoon, saying she found Smith instigated the fight and had the advantage of being significantly taller and heavier than Waddell. Waddell's family says the verdict is a relief.
This is amazing. Today is an amazing day, and I'm so glad that justice is served. Like, so happy.
Height says Waddell was an amazing father and a hard worker. A sentencing date has yet to be set. Prince Albert police are asking for help in identifying a person seen in the area the night the Salvation Army was destroyed by flames in Prince Albert. They've released surveillance video captured between 7:30 and 8 p.m. on December 25th in the Central Avenue area of Prince Albert. The first video clip shows the person walking in an alley in the 900 block of Central Avenue close to the Salvation Army. The person can be seen taking off black pants, revealing gray pants underneath. Other video clips show different angles of the person walking in the area. Police say they aren't sure if this person knows anything about the Christmas Day fire or if they are a potential witness. If you have any information on the person, you are asked to call Prince Albert Police. You can watch the video in its entirety on our website, ctvnews.ca/Saskatoon. RCMP are investigating a string of break-ins at vape shops in Warman and Martinsville. One in Warman was an armed robbery. Police have released these photos of a white Toyota RAV4 believed to have been involved in the armed robbery on December 13th. The total of 8 break-ins plus the armed robbery happened between October 7th and December 30th. RCMP say in each incident there were 2 or 3 suspects wearing black or dark clothing who had their faces covered. Officers are now working to determine if the incidents are connected. Anyone who can help identify the white SUV in these photos that could be linked to the case is asked to contact RCMP. This was the scene at Circle Drive and College Drive just before 10 o'clock this morning. A van had rolled onto its roof. Traffic was slowed in the area to allow emergency crews and a tow truck to clear the scene. The driver did not suffer any serious injuries. A Churchbridge area man is hoping a personal tragedy can lead to change. His wife was killed after a collision at a train crossing, which was the site of another fatality 4 years earlier. Virginia DeClute has more.
For Alyssa and Matthew Thompson, 2025 was supposed to be the start of a long, beautiful life together. They got married in November and bought a house in Churchbridge, sharing it with Alyssa's 8-year-old son and their many rescue cats.
She was a very selfless person. She was charismatic, full of life and energy, and she was just a beautiful soul inside and out.
The morning of December 29th was like any other. Matthew made her coffee and packed her lunch for work.
I started her car. I kissed her goodbye and told her I loved her, and then she went out the door.
Minutes later, Matthew received a call from a family member telling him about a collision at the rail crossing near the Thompsons' home.
So I pretty much instantly just threw on my shoes and ran down the street to the train there. There was a guy standing there. I asked what kind of vehicle it was. He said it was a red SUV. And I said, I think that's my wife.
Alyssa did not survive the collision, passing away just 35 days after her wedding. Matthew contacted the railway and the RCMP for details regarding the collision.
And they responded that they wouldn't be releasing that information to me.
This wasn't the only fatality at this crossing. About 4 years ago, a father was killed. His 2 children were injured at the same spot.
If you stop behind the stop line, you see the house, you see the tree line, and you just see black. Like I said, it's uphill, it's slippery, it's covered with ice most of the time.
In their response to CTV News, CPKC expressed their deepest sympathies to Alice's family, adding that Transport Canada has established the grade crossing regulations and standards. The sightlines at the Lovell Street crossing are compliant with those regulations. Matthew hopes that a set of crossing lights will be added in the near future.
What amount of money is worth all the lives that it's cost there already, you know, like if it could have been preventable by having that being a lighted crossing, to me, there's no price you could put on my wife's life.
Fruzina de Kloot, CTV News, Churchbridge.
The federal government is closing a number of agriculture research centres across Canada. 2 Saskatchewan facilities will be impacted. They are at Indian Head and Scott. The union representing workers says 38 people will be laid off in Indian Head and 6 in Scott. The closures are part of a government effort to reduce the size of the civil service. The union says loss of the centres will hurt farmers who benefit from research. Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada will remain 17 research centres nationwide and research farmland in every province. Sask Polytech has revealed the mystery ingredients for an upcoming culinary challenge. This afternoon, the mystery ingredient box was opened at the Prince Albert campus, revealing the ingredients to be used in the Prairie Fire competition: kale and pork tenderloin. The competition is for Sask Polytech culinary students and recent alumni from the Prince Albert, Saskatoon and Regina campuses. Competitors will be evaluated based on the taste of the dish, along with kitchen skills like sanitation and presentation.
It helps them learn about themselves, to see where they're at with their culinary skills. They can look around the room at the end of the competition and see, you know, how other people did, what their plates look like. So really it should be a good way for them to gain knowledge.
The challenge is February 9th at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon, and the top 8 competitors will advance to the next round of competition in April. Well, the minus 30 temperatures didn't stop members of Saskatoon's cycling community from enjoying the fresh air over the weekend. The group hosted Ice Cycle at the Gather Local Market. It was an opportunity for winter cyclists to enjoy a group bike ride, otherwise known as a slow roll. There were also prizes, and it gave people a chance to catch up with each other and share the best ways to stay warm, safe, and active during the winter months.
The biggest challenge is just knowing how to dress. As long as you're dressed warm, you're okay. Often we have like more of a problem with overheating because you're working so hard and then you get a little sweaty. So that's always a challenge, is just figuring out what gear works for you. And then, yeah, having a good bike in the winter.
While Ice Cycle is a special event, the group still meets once a month for a group ride, and new members are always welcome. Still to come, what the province thinks of Ottawa's plan to make life affordable for some Canadians. Also, a record-breaking storm blankets Ontario. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Prime Minister Mark Carney is providing Canadians with a boost to the GST credit as part of the Canadian government's new affordability measures. Carney announcing Canada's groceries and essentials benefit, which he says will see the GST credit amount raised by 25% for 5 years and provide a one-time payment equivalent to the GST credit this year. Carney says under the existing GST credit, a family of 4 receives about $1,100, but with today's announcement, that same family will now receive up to $1,890 this year and about $1,400 a year for each of the next 4 years. With a boost to the credit, a single person will receive $950 this year compared to the $540 they'd received with the existing credit. That same individual will also receive about $700 a year for each of the next 4 years. Saskatchewan's Minister of Social Services says this is good news.
We know affordability, especially when you're trying to maybe feed your kids, and when you're trying to feed them healthy options as well. So every little bit like this helps, and we applaud the federal government for recognizing that need. And this is good news for those individuals who do receive a GST tax credit to be able to put that towards food or other essentials that they deem necessary.
Carney says about 12 million Canadians will benefit from today's announcement. The Conservatives call today's announcement a recycled Trudeau-era policy, saying it is a temporary measure. A former Canadian Olympic snowboarder accused in a drug smuggling ring made his first court appearance in the U.S. today. Ryan Wedding pleaded not guilty in front of a judge in Santa Ana, California. He turned himself in at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City last week after a lengthy effort by authorities to arrest him. The former FBI fugitive is accused of running a billion-dollar multinational drug trafficking ring and orchestrating multiple killings. He was indicted in 2024. In Canada, Wedding faces separate drug charges dating back to 2015. There was more tension in Minneapolis today with calls for impartial investigations into the fatal shooting by a Border Patrol officer on Saturday. Sabrina Ravi is with Nouveau, CTV's French language sister network.
So I am standing right here where Alex Preddy was killed last weekend. So let me just show you the memorial so you can see all the floral tributes and the messages left in memory of the 37-year-old nurse. Citizens are coming here to pay their respect. There is a lot of solidarity. In fact, many residents fear that if the investigation is led by the federal government via the FBI, justice will never be served. Let's hear from some of the people I spoke with on the ground.
I'm here because we saw this terrible video of this young man being shot in the middle of the street while he's on the ground. Obviously, we can't allow that ever to happen in the United States of America. So we all need to help all these people in Minneapolis stand up to this craziness.
The signs are everywhere here in the streets in Minneapolis. In addition to the outgoing protests, graffiti can be seen on buildings, benches, and bus shelters calling for immigration police to leave the city. Last night, protesters gathered in front of a hotel where ICE agents were reportedly staying. We will continue to follow this story. From Minneapolis, Sabrina Rivet for Nouveau Info.
A major dig-out is underway after a record snowstorm in parts of Ontario. More than 50 centimeters of snow hit Toronto, clogging some streets. Schools across the region were closed today. The snow-moving storm is now moving east to Quebec and the Maritime provinces. Cold warnings have been issued, and messy conditions are expected to last at least for another day.
Hello, all you Joni Mitchell fans out there. My name is Jillian Snyder, and I am so very, very excited because on Saturday, January 31st at 7:30 p.m., I'm going to be joined with a full 9-piece band. We're going to be exploring 5 decades of Joni Mitchell's music with story and song, playing all of our favorites. We really hope to see you there, and to get tickets, you just have to go to thebasement.ca. So, Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, Jillian, it looks like it's going to be relatively mild. Now, there's a little bit of a chance of some flurry activity, about a 40% chance. So not such a big deal in that respect. -3 degrees for a daytime high, so about 8 degrees above seasonal. And, of course, once again, showtime is 7:30 Saturday night. And for those tickets, thebasement.ca. Let's take a look at our numbers now. Currently, it is -20 in Saskatoon, feeling closer to -31 degrees with that wind at 28 kilometers an hour. Prince Albert feels like around -27, and it feels around -28 degrees for the Battlefords, but all 3 locations certainly below seasonal in terms of their daytime highs today. -17 for Saskatoon, that was the daytime high. -11 degrees is typical, so 6 degrees below seasonal. The warm temperature record, 6 on the plus side. That was in 1982. That's warm. -46, the cold temperature record from 1950. The sun came up before 9 o'clock, and the sun went down at 5:43.
Coming up, telling stories through a new lens. The Saskatchewan filmmaker making it easier for people to watch a movie from their phones.
Some of the best
basketball players are hitting the hard court in Regina. Tuesday on Your Morning, we are sending our athlete-in-residence, Janelle Lipai, out to tee up the Rochdale Invitational.
All righty, taking a look at the skyline. As you can see, a little slash of orange across the horizon. So, yes, we are seeing more in the way of daylight hours, but the sun is still going down before we come on the air. But we still have plenty of ambient light, and cold temperatures are still hanging around Saskatchewan, but things are starting to warm up. Certainly today was warmer than the weekend. That polar vortex is still impacting particularly eastern Saskatchewan and into Manitoba, sliding this way, and so it's affecting still. You saw the snow fall in the Toronto area. Of course, this polar vortex impacted many locations across North America. Expecting a little bit of rain to start showing up in British Columbia. They haven't had any for a while, so that's going to be happening in the next couple of days. Minus 20 in Saskatoon, minus 17 in Prince Albert, minus 18 in the Battlefords. On to our hotspot. Well, that was Maple Creek. On Friday, they were the hotspot as well at minus 19, so a decidedly warmer situation today, minus 3 degrees. Uranium City, the cold spot at minus 32. Around the province we go. We have minus 17 degrees right now in Lloydminster, minus 15 in Swift Current, minus 16 in Moose Jaw, and minus 18 in Yorkton, Regina, and Estevan. Centrally, we have temperatures that range from minus 14 degrees in Kindersley down to minus 21. That's in Meadow Lake. It's minus 17 in Nipawin and Hudson Bay, minus 20 in Wynyard. Up north, minus 25 right now in Stony Rapids, 1 degree colder in Collins Bay and Key Lake. It warms up to minus 20. That's in Buffalo Narrows. And down south, no balmy conditions, but it is warmer on the western side of the province. Temperatures hanging around minus 13 degrees for many parts of the southwestern and south central part of the province, but it does cool off to the high minus teens towards the eastern side of Saskatchewan. Here we go with our futurecast. As you can see, not much in the way of precipitation coming our way, and the good news is those pressure lines that you see on your map, those isometric lines there, the isobar lines rather, not close together, so the fact they're gapped apart means we're not anticipating a lot in the way of wind chill. For areas basically from Nipawin down towards the Regina area, the city of Regina not in this cold warning, but areas to the east of Regina, including places like Mooseman, and then we also have Yorkton and Melville. Those areas still under an extreme cold warning, as is the Lake Athabasca region. Minus 21 for La Ronge tomorrow, minus 26 for Stony Rapids, minus 19 for Buffalo Narrows, and a high of minus 23 in Key Lake. Temperatures in the minus teens in west central Saskatchewan on Tuesday, minus 12 for Kindersley and Rosetown, minus 3 degrees for Maple Creek, minus 9 in Leader, minus 13 in Outlook, minus 8 in Swift Current. Into the southeastern part of Saskatchewan, minus 19 in Yorkton, minus 16 in Regina, minus 12 in Moose Jaw, minus 15 in Estevan, and temperatures hovering around that minus 18 degree mark for east central Saskatchewan with a mix of sky conditions. On to the Battlefords, dropping down to minus 27 tonight, still a risk of frostbite. That lingers into tomorrow, albeit with a warmer situation, a high of minus 14. Staying there on Wednesday, but warming up to pretty much seasonal values on Thursday. And then look at this, minus single digits as we roll through, and there's a chance of some flurries on Saturday, but yes, mild conditions to be sure. Clear skies with frostbite minutes for the Prince Albert region tonight. There's still a risk of frostbite tomorrow with a high of just minus 18 degrees, staying there for Wednesday, but starting to warm up on Thursday. You can see that. Then above seasonal temperatures on Friday and minus single digits, basically around minus 5 for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A chance of flurries on Saturday. Minus 27 with a chance of, with frostbite in minutes under these circumstances. It will feel like minus 38. Tomorrow, even though a core temperature of minus 16, a little bit of wind makes it feel like minus 22. And then minus 15 on Wednesday, minus 12 on Thursday, minus 8 on Friday, minus 3 on Saturday, and it comes with a chance of some flurries and temperatures of around minus 5 on Sunday and Monday.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today charged with the murder of your wife.
Dystopic thriller, that's right, dystopic. Mercy has finally unseated Avatar Fire and Ash as the king of the box office. Following Avatar's hugely successful 5-week reign, Mercy brought in $11.2 million US and $22.8 million globally on its debut, which critics say doesn't instill confidence the film will recoup its roughly $60 million budget by the end of its theatrical run. In fact, this weekend's top 10 domestic grossing films raked in just over $44 million. a steep decline from the $175 million high from when the third Avatar film debuted on December 19th. I'd like to solve the puzzle. Vanna White is married. There, I won. She and her longtime partner, John Donaldson, have officially tied the knot. In an Instagram post, Vanna writes, "Surprise, we got married." No word on when the wedding actually happened, as she says they made it official in a private ceremony a, quote, little while back. She also included some throwback photos. No, not those photos. The two have been together for more than a decade.
Who is this? Yoshi.
Nintendo is out with a new trailer for its next Super Mario Brothers movie, and it includes the inclusion of a character fans will recognize. Mario's iconic dinosaur friend, Yoshi, joins the gang in the trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy. The first Super Mario movie debuted in 2023 and claimed the title of the highest grossing film adaptation of a video game. The sequel hits theaters in April 1st to be exact, with Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Anna Taylor-Joy, and Jack Black among the original cast members returning.
All right, Jeff, it's the Monday edition of Pick of the Day. Photos come in all weekend. What did you choose?
It's true. They come in all weekend. We had to pare it down to 3, but hopefully some of the other ones we'll find room for them. I love this one from Shirley. This is just a great shot of what it feels like, albeit super cold. It is a beautiful shot. Rime ice on the trees, and of course the clouds and just the fog coming off the South Saskatchewan. So thank you, Shirley, for that picture. Next one, yeah, this is another nice one. The ice pillars, this is from Lori, and just a great shot there of the different colored ice pillars that sometimes we get here in Saskatchewan when the ice is in the sky and the lights are lit up. All right, and finally, it's Bear. That's right. Bear has got the sunglasses out, hoping for warmer temperatures, and this comes to us from Sarah. So thank you all for sharing those photos, and if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, and please put Pick of the Day in the subject line, and if you're shooting with a camera, please shoot it on the horizontal, not the vertical.
Still to come on CTV News, audience participation. The Saskatchewan filmmaker allowing viewers to choose their own adventures. A Saskatchewan filmmaker is using a vertical lens to showcase his movie, allowing people to watch from their phones. While watching the film also lets viewers decide for themselves the plot of the movie. Sierra D'Souza Butts explains.
It's a movie on your phone where you get to choose the plot.
So then you get call your ex or call your sister.
Regina filmmaker Aaron Sinclair's short film, called Singleness, lets the audience decide the outcome of different scenes throughout the film using options on their mobile device.
The interactive aspect is on the ChooseWise app, and as you're watching the film, you get to choose what you think the character should do next, and you'll be presented with different options, and depending on what you choose will change kind of how the story plays out.
The production follows an international trend where filmmakers are starting to use vertical storytelling, also known as microdrama format, in their short films, allowing people to watch movies the way they naturally hold their phones.
There's a lot of projects that are shifting into this microdrama format. We see companies like Disney and Fox looking into the microdrama format as well.
Adding, the industry is shifting on how people consume content.
We're getting a little bit away from the more traditional type of storytelling into this new format, simply because folks are scrolling and we want to keep their attention span.
Although the app to watch the film is based in the U.S., Sinclair says he takes pride in shooting and casting the entire movie locally.
It's really great kind of working with Saskatchewan talent to make something like this. I think that we can offer this sort of like production value here that if you were doing the same production value in LA, it would just cost so much more. It'd be so much harder to do, but people are just excited to be a part of something cool here.
Already working on his next production, Sinclair says it's an exciting time to be a Saskatchewan filmmaker. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
When we come back, Saskatchewan athletes get ready for the Olympics. And later, Wild for Wildlife, the interactive fun in Saskatoon over the weekend.
All right, welcome back. It's time for the rural forecast as we roll into Tuesday. And as you can see, temperatures a little warmer, closer to seasonal as we make our way towards the western side of the province. But as we make our ways to the far east, yes, we are talking about colder temperatures. Minus 18 degrees for Hudson Bay, minus 19 for Wynyard. Down south, does it warm up that much? Well, it certainly does on the western side of the province. Central, south central, not bad at all, but then things do start to cool off. Kenora, expected daytime high tomorrow, just minus 20 degrees, minus 18 for Broadview. So what about Raymore? Well, it looks like Raymore is going to be part of, well, they're one of the locations that has a cold warning on right now. It looks like tomorrow's still going to be chilly, but things will be improving on the temperature side of things as we make our way into the rest of the week. And Raymore is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
At the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Mississauga, Jolene Campbell and Team Saskatchewan were looking to improve their record to 2-1 versus the Northwest Territories.
Gamble here in 9, a draw for 2. And yeah, that's really nice. Draw weight.
Campbell's team scored 2 in the 9th end, but still trailed 5-4. In the 10th, skip Nancy Kaufman failed to score with a shot, leading to Saskatchewan stealing 2 points in a come-from-behind 6-5 win. Saskatchewan is in 3rd place in Pool A, taking on Quebec tonight. A good weekend for Regina's Mark McMorris, winning his 12th ever gold medal at the Winter X Games before heading to Italy. McMorris will be joined by several other Saskatchewan athletes looking to bring an Olympic medal back home to Canada. Donovan Mace spoke to a few of them with the big event getting underway next week.
Good job, Ben. Regina's Ben Hebert is relishing in the opportunity to play a 3rd Olympic Games.
All of us probably dreamt of going to the Olympics maybe once or going to a couple Briars, and to be going 3 times, a little bit surreal.
Hebert is one of 7 athletes from Saskatchewan set to wear the maple leaf in Italy, including Mark McMorris, who will make his 4th Olympic appearance in 2026, fresh off an X Games gold medal on the weekend. Regina's Logan Pletz will make his Olympic debut in biathlon, while hockey players Emily Clark represent the province on the women's team, with Darcy Kemper and Brandon Hagel on the men's side. On the hill, Saskatoon's Maya Schwinghammer is ready to make her Olympic debut in moguls.
And then that massive bottom air.
Schwinghammer's earliest memories on skis are being pulled behind a snowmobile in northern Saskatchewan and hitting the slopes of Blackstrap where her parents ran the hill. But her Olympic dream began in 2010.
Jennifer Heil was always a huge inspiration to me, and I remember watching her get the silver medal and just knowing that I had to go become an Olympian one day.
Athletes say they are feeling the support from across the province.
Pretty crazy to be heading to the games as an athlete from Saskatchewan, and just to really feel the community back home.
I still get messages today from my high school football coaches, my coaches that coached me at North Regina Little League in Regina, still keep in touch, and there's so many great athletes that come from that province that they do put a lot of time into it.
Events begin for the games on February 4th ahead of the opening ceremonies on the 6th and run until February 22nd. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have extended offensive guard Jacob Bramer to a 1-year contract. Joining the Riders in 2024, Bramer had a breakout season last year, named an all-CFL player, and was part of an O-line that allowed no quarterback sacks in the playoffs. With the extension, the Riders now have 4 of their starting 5 O-linemen from the Grey Cup game under contract for next season. Trevor Tate, the lone exception.
He'll fake it to him. McLeod keeps it himself. Great decision as he will go untouched into the end zone.
The Riders also signing another quarterback, Jordan McLeod. In 2024, McLeod threw for 3,200 yards and 30 touchdowns in 13 games with Texas State. He also added 7 rushing touchdowns. The year before that, he played at James Madison University, throwing for 35 touchdowns and running for 8 more. Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon just over $1.20 a liter. The lowest price in town is $1.12.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco dropped $3.63 today, and Nutrien finished the day at $96.26. Coming up, peering into the life of a pilot, the Saskatoon invitation to the aviation industry. Then exotic animals pay a trip to Saskatoon.
Hey there, it's Derek Jesting here at the Saskatoon CrimeStoppers. January is CrimeStoppers month, a time to remind ourselves that strong streets and safe communities start with us. Crime just doesn't affect one person. It affects families, schools, businesses, and entire neighborhoods. That's why CrimeStoppers gives you a way to speak up, safely and anonymously. This January, you can help by reporting suspicious activity, encouraging others to speak up, and sharing CrimeStoppers information within your community. Because when citizens and police work together, crimes get solved, harm is prevented, and our communities get stronger and safer. If you have information about a crime, please give us a call at 1-800-222-8477, or you can leave a tip online at SaskatoonCrimeStoppers.com. You can also check out our Facebook, Instagram, and our homepage for photos of suspects and other active crimes within the city and the province. We pay cash rewards of up to $2,000 for information that leads to an arrest. We don't want your name, we just want your assistance. Saskatoon CrimeStoppers. Do your part to stop crime in our community.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television starting tonight at 7 with Extracted. Well, people had a chance to step into some vintage airplanes in Saskatoon over the weekend. It was all part of the Saskatchewan Aviation Museum's Cockpit Day on Saturday. Many of the aircraft on display are fully functional, and in the warmer months, visitors can see how they look in flight. The museum says events like this often inspire the next generation of pilots.
So young people, they get exposure to airplanes. Some of them become very interested in flying. Some people come in and there could be young adults, old adults, kids of all ages, really, right? So people just enjoy being around airplanes.
The Saskatchewan Aviation Museum hosts events throughout the year, inviting the public to take in its collection. I see a lot of future pilots there, don't
Yes, and they got a lot of cool stuff out there. There's no question about it.
They do. A nice thing to do on a cold winter day.
Yes.
Another thing to do indoors over the weekend, animal lovers had the opportunity to get up close with their favorite creatures. The Wildlife Festival taking over Prairieland Park over the weekend. The event featured many animals, including sloths, porcupines, kangaroos, and snakes. One of the event educator says people get a chance to learn about exotic animals and the responsibilities that come with caring for them.
And that's something that a lot of people come away from our shows learning is what might work for my family versus I want a kangaroo. I'm gonna get a kangaroo. So it's super exciting to see them and be able to appreciate them, but also learn about them and maybe why some pets might work for a family and maybe other pets might not.
Wrangler Elisa says that snakes were by far the most popular among the kids who visited the festival.
Mommy, can we get a sloth? Come on, I want a sloth.
Or kangaroo or porcupine?
Well, kangaroo, porcupine, yeah, no, I think I'll say no to all of those.
Yeah. Nice to visit, though, right?
Yeah, why not? And you get a chance to see them up close and personal like that. Kind of nice.
And you learn a lot.
You bet. We'll learn a lot about our temperatures as I bring up this stack of numbers right here. So minus 27 tomorrow morning at 9, minus 23 by noon, minus 18 in the mid-afternoon. And the good news is the wind isn't very strong to begin with, but it does back off starting at around 2 o'clock. So not too bad.
It's kind of a slow warm-up.
It's a slow warm-up. Yes, it is. It is.
Well, at least there's been lots of indoor events.
Yeah,
the last little while,
and things are looking very mild for by early February standards as we head into the weekend.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully it stays a little more mild.
Yeah, we're going to hope for that too.
All right, that is our show. We're going to be back at 11:30. Thanks so much for watching tonight.